project, you don't need to. All right, let's check it. Okay. I'm going to go through the first part kind of quickly. Oh, air bubbles.
Were there air bubbles?
Oh,
Did I do
yeah.
a bad job?
Did the clay whisperer go?
It's okay. I know how to work through. I'll be fine. Okay. So, know what your wheel's doing. Think about your steps. Seal it up. Cone it up. Bring it down. Okay, it's not centered, but we got that great shape. I'm going to come from here and refine it.
What part of your hand is like contacting it?
So right here and right here.
And those are the only parts contacting
And then this side is when I push in, it's down here.
Okay.
So coming down, I'm pushing down with right here and right here. Pushing in, it's right through there. Down at the bottom. So you see how my hands kind of fluctuate or move? Don't rush it, just get to where you need to be. And then pull your hands off. I'm going to open it, create a little knob. I like to work with my sponge so I don't have to reach for water. I'm going to push down. If there are air bubbles, make sure you're just holding steady and you can push right through them. So my hands are bent, my fingers are bent. Now, I'm going to pull towards me. Ring finger and middle finger are going to gently pull towards my thumb. My thumb's not going to move. Just gentle. If you ever feel like you're grabbing clay or you're sticking, just let go, reach in and add some water. Okay, take the water out. You can also press down on the bottom. I'm not super worried if it's completely flat, but it should be fairly flat. And the sides should be fairly flat. We shouldn't have a curve to it. We'll do curves when we get to bowls, but we'll make them on purpose, not by accident. Okay, we're going to come in and drop down right here. See how my walls are straight up and down? So my left hand is going to drop with my thumb on the outside. Add some water. My right hand, thumbs are going to touch, and my index finger is going to push towards my index finger. Elbows are down. I'm going to push in, let that clay start to lift, and I'm going to pinch that, lift up, and my right hand is going to move towards the center. When I get to the top, I just hang out and stop. A lot of you want to just keep going, and that creates a spiral, and you don't want that. Now, we're going to come here. My middle finger is now going to hang it on the inside because my index finger doesn't fit all the way down. I'm going to push towards my middle finger. And I'm going to lift. Most of my pressure is happening on my outside hand with support on my inside hand. Okay? Now, hopefully that makes a little more sense than it did 3 weeks ago when we started, or whatever that was. Does it have to make perfect sense? No, because you have 3 more days to kind of work through this. So these are the things I want you to also start working on. I want you to start using the metal rib. If we practice with the metal rib, when we get to bowls, bottles, and vases, it will be more comfortable in your hand, and you'll be able to do some things that we need to do. So I'm going to do this, and you're going to sort of be able to see it through the monitor, and then I'll do it out here and show you. So I'm going to push this down. The round part of my rib touches the flat part of my cylinder, and I'm compressing and cleaning up my clay so it looks like this, and then I bend it just a little bit. This is why I like my metal ribs. They're skinny and they're bendable. Come here, slowly lift up. Always support. Okay, do you see how clean that looks? We want to practice doing that. It will save you so much heartache and headache later on. When we go to pull a bowl off, if it's not compressed and cleaned up like this, your bowl is going to stick, it's going to flop, and it's not going to be a fun thing. Next thing, we're going to come in with our wood knife. And I'm going to do it right here. I'll show you out here in a second. But I'm going to do it right here. And I'll do it out here so you can sort of see. You're going to hold it like a pencil, support it on your index finger. Make sure that the tip is wet so that it doesn't stick. And you're going to just slowly press this down. If you're not supporting your tool, you're going to grab and go flying around. Now, for you, I don't do it this way, but the way I do it is pretty dangerous. So, not dangerous for me, just ruining your pieces. So you're going to take a needle tool, you're going to start your wheel, put this down on the wheel head, cut underneath there, and then you're going to cut that and peel that away.
How do you do it?
How do I do it? So I usually come in here. Well, let's see if I'll peel some away. So I peel it away like that,
Yeah.
and then I just come in here and shove my
Do you ever run pieces?
all the time. I mean, ruining is a weird definition. When my process can be pretty chunky anyway sometimes. So, okay, see how clean that is? I've also cleaned off the bottom. Now, when we pull this off, if I were to cut this off and lift it, if this was skirted out like this, it's going to create a suction cup. And when we go to take this off, it's not going to come off. So you've got to cut this in just a little bit, and it's got to be nice and compressed, nice and dry. Once you do this, do not take a sponge and smooth it out. Okay, that's a new person's beginning idea of, I need to make this perfect. We're going to learn how to do that later. Okay. Then you're going to do this. So first day, you're going to be back at it, doing your best. Second day, I want you to, you can start cutting them first day. I want you to cut them, and I want you to do something like this. So you're going to take a needle tool and put it in there, or a wood knife. You can stand them up. It doesn't matter to me. And then you're going to take a photo of it. Okay? That's going to show me height, width, symmetry, thickness of the foot, how thick the clay is, and I'll be able to tell kind of what your throwing style is. Now, we talked about this before, but as a general rule, in a lot of schools, from the bottom of this needle tool to where that needle starts is 5 inches. Okay? And on this assignment, that is a B. That's an A. That's a C. That's a D. Okay? In my school, that is not how it works. So, my school, this is how it works. You spent 6 days. You really spent 6 days. You asked questions. You did your best. You cut some in half. You took photos of them. And if you turn in something like that, maybe it's a little thicker, okay? Hopefully it's not too lopsided. Hopefully it's pretty centered. But you turn that in with your photos, you get an A on this project, okay? And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I don't believe that your ability to throw is that it's not detrimental to your grade. It is hard, right? You've been on the wheel, and I understand that. There are some teachers who think, no, if they can't do it, then they don't deserve a good grade, and that's not how I feel. I feel that we can have a conversation. Now, if you can throw this, maybe a little thicker, but it's centered, I can teach you how to pull it a little taller. We can also turn this into a bowl, okay? You won't, if you can't throw taller than this, you're not going to be able to make a bottle or a vase. But that's not a big deal. The next project on the wheel after our next 3 days are bowls, bottles, and vase sets. And you get to choose what those are. So if you can throw a 5, 6, 7-inch cylinder, then you can make bottles and vases really easily. You can also make a really nice bowl. So we'll go from there. Now, I want to be very clear. I love the idea of struggle and stress. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with you struggling and stressing over this. But there comes a point, okay? And this point is different for everybody, but it basically comes down to this. If you don't want to show up to class because you hate throwing on the wheel, or you just want to avoid it altogether, or when you're back here, you have nothing good's happening inside because this is not any fun for you, come and talk with me, okay? I do not want this class to be detrimental to you, okay? I really don't. I love the idea of struggle, and I love the idea of pushing ourselves because that's how we get better. I also don't want that to stop you from progressing because you're just like, I can't do it. I don't like it. It's not fun. I know people that the wheel is not fun for them, and that's okay. Okay, do the next 3 days. Do your best. Ask questions. Work through it. Take those photos. Okay, that's all I'm asking. And then we can have a conversation. I want everyone to make bowls, bottles, or vase sets. But you don't have to get out of this class. You don't have to know the wheel to graduate, right? So don't stress too much about it.
How are you supposed to do those without the wheel?
We would come up with an alternative project for somebody who doesn't do the wheel. So, and again, I want you all to do it, but there comes a point where it's just like, can we do something else? I mean, we can make bottles, vases, and bowls off the wheel, or we could do another hand-built project that's totally different. So we can do all of those things. I'm not worried about it. As big as my ego is, I can adjust my projects perfectly well so that you have a decent experience in ceramics, and it's okay. So, but you've got to communicate with me, because if you're okay with the struggle, I'm okay with you struggling. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But if it's too much, you've got to let me know so I can work with you, because I don't want you back here hating it. But a little stress, a little struggle, it's good for you most of the time. So, any questions? So you'll turn this in on Google Classroom. It will be due for everyone by spring break. That way I can look at them, I can have conversations with people and go from there.
What if you can't taste the sugar?
You can ask somebody to do that for you, or you can come find me and I can take care of it. So, yep, that's a great question.
What's the wait to turn in the pictures till after the 3 days?
Yeah, I want you to be done with your 3 days. And you can take one on the second day and the third day and turn in more than one, or just your best one.